Alright, well, we are in Mumbai, one of the most iconic locations, the Mukesh Mills, and the car behind me is equally iconic. Everybody actually relates to the pre-90s era and before 90s era. Well, I am a pre-90, post-90 child, and the Sierra, of course, brings in a lot of nostalgia for me. Well, the car has been unveiled, the production variant, and I'm joined by the head of India Design, who actually got the responsibility from the global studios to actually implement this in India. Well, Ajay, thank you so much for speaking to us at Business Today. All right, now of course, everybody's mind. When there were three global studios, competing to build the Sierra, eventually it was the India, studio which actually got the mandate to actually get it done and implemented it. What were the key nostalgic factors that you were keeping in mind? Because Martin mentioned that you cannot just go by your what the world wants. You have to go by your instinct as well. So, what is the scenario there?
So the India Design Studio, it's a capacity thing, but it's also a sense of heritage, a sense of responsibility, and a sense of passion. The India studio, everybody understood the product really well. Everybody had an emotional connection to the product, and they could take this further based on their emotions. The other thing is, in 1991, the Tata Sierra was the first car to have been designed and developed in India. And we felt it is our legacy, and we felt it is our responsibility to do once more a world-class car and have it come from. So there is a sense of national pride and national, responsibility that comes with this car, with the design of this car.
So looking at the design of the car, make us, get us through the design value now, because I want to know from you the horse's mouth as to what all factors have you retained vis-a-vis the older version of the Sierra versus the new one. What remains, what goes. Of course, the tech, the specs, of course, changes.
Yeah.
But I want to know the design front. Anything that you actually the value remains.
So it's good that you use the word value, because the value does remain. Because the first thing that we did was we wanted to recreate that emotion. We focused on the emotion that we had when we first saw the Tata Sierra. We wanted it and all our management is Gen Xers. We wanted them to feel what they felt when they first saw the Tata Sierra, and how in love with it, or how awed they were. So we first got on the emotion side. Then we started getting on to a little bit of the pride, a little bit of the form, the shape, the function. The fact that it was at its time, everybody in India was repurposing tooling from somewhere else and making cars in India, and this was it was out there, and it felt like it was also a European car that had come to India. So we felt like this is the kind of feeling that we want to do, that this car has to be world class, that we have to design it in such a way that people will not say, oh, it's less than something that has been designed outside India. So that was a driving factor. And then we went into the proportions, the surface, the stance, the detailing, the graphics, and some of the technological elements. So it's like a big journey of emotions, feelings, responsibility, to then the forms, the shapes, the ideas, and the details, and their execution.
If I can ask you, Ajay, I can walk through here. Tell us about your favorite part of the exterior. What does the head of India Design Studio for Tata Motors love about the Sierra? What really clicked you? No, this is the one that I'm gonna put to the final production variant.
From day one, the seamless headlamps that are still India's only and most high-tech connected headlamps from end to end, and the tail lamp, and the slimmest headlamp that is super high-tech, but it's high-tech without losing.
Show them, please.
Yeah, so this thing, there is no gap. It just goes from one end to the other without a gap. This is the only kind in India. And the headlamp, which is just this slim element here, which is the slimmest headlamp in the country. So we wanted it to have that high-tech appearance. We wanted high-tech as it, and that we've got it done, and we've, like the Tata Sierra, this is the first in India.
All right, I want to come across towards the side part. What really looks exciting is, of course, this whole look here. The boxy kind of a design. I mean, it's great that you actually showed us the first launch, the first model was this only, and actually it came to life. I want to ask you about this design language here. I mean,
Yeah.
what really, is it the Range Rover look that you're gonna implement here, or is it the boxy premium SUV kind of feeling? What is the feeling here?
This was purely guided by the original Tata Sierra. The original Tata Sierra was a little bit of a niche car because it was a three-door. But because it didn't have a door in the back, the glass was one sheet of glass and it was fixed and it was seamless and it didn't drop. So it just felt super futuristic, but it was super impractical. You could really boil inside it. But it was so cool. We wanted to keep that, and we wanted to keep that in a four-door. So we spent a lot of time getting rid of the visible rubber seals and making this as flush as possible. So even though there is a door here, we wanted to get that sense of one single flush, seamless glass, pasted glass. That is all we were trying to do. We wanted that it should look like the original Sierra, but it's still a five-door, and we really fought tooth and nail to get this really, spectacular technology of and craftsmanship to get this glass to look one plane.
All right. And to moving towards the rear of the car, very interesting again. You have this, again, a very flattish kind of a look here with the, a uni line going all over the place with a specific place for the headlamps out here, rear lamps, sorry. But what was the thinking behind the rear thinking? Because it actually represents a lot of the earlier Sierra, the standing proportion and the stand. So the thinking behind that.
Yeah, this was like to get the high-tech look, like you said, very clean look. See, again, I'm going back to the original emotion of the original Sierra. When you looked at it, it was so high-tech, it was so futuristic and well-crafted and seamless looking that you didn't think this was developed in India. So we wanted to be like world-class, best in the world. And we had this tail lamp that went all the way end to end without any seams. And we created this clamshell bonnet, so a clamshell deck lid. So like the bonnet, this thing wraps over, so the whole back end is your aperture. It's not, when you get the cut lines in between. We didn't want that clutter. So, and we didn't want people to have a big box in the back, but then open only a small part of it, a small door in the box. So we wanted the whole box to open up.
Towards my last two set of questions, Ajay, of course, everything good looks good, everything looks nice. But about interiors, the first look, of course, coming in through you. A seamless, infotainment system that we out here merged with the odometer. How do you feel about this, and do you think it's really futuristic? Don't you think it's too much of a virtual touchscreen kind of a place right now?
How big is the TV in your living room?
Approximately 42 inches in star size now.
And that's as big as you can get, or can you go bigger?
Bigger one. Right.
You could go bigger, right?
Yeah.
So this is the sense of where we are today, right? We did not design this looking at automotive cliches like cockpits and stuff like that. We were looking at where your home space, this is your moving space and this is your home space. So we started by sculpting the dashboard. We started by sculpting the dashboard to take away the volume, to take away this big volume, and to create the sideboard on which you place your big high-tech, LCD or QLED television screen. And then below that you have your sound system. So we created that sense of the volume is reminiscent of your living room and gives you a sense of this is where you're going to spend your time. This is where you and your family are going to make memories. So we were looking at it in that sense, and just like we do it at home, we felt that to really furnish it with furnishing, high-tech furnishing, modern furnishing, and then the tech, we wanted to combine those two.
All right, now, everything's good. The car looks fantastic. It rolls on 25th of November. I want to ask you about the challenges now, because everything comes with its own set of challenges. What are the three top challenges that you really faced while designing the car? You mentioned about the window pane behind. What else? What really was the contentious problems that you were facing,
They just keep coming, because there were so many things that we wanted, like like even the panoramic sunroof is the biggest in the country. We wanted things that we were looking at recreating the interior roominess to the level of a Range Rover Velar, which is a much more expensive, much bigger car. And we wanted, we didn't want to give up on anything. So the challenges was to convince people that we can do this in India. We can create these, with the lamps, like I spoke to you, with the flush glass, they're all first in India. So to convince people that we can do it, and then we can do it within the cost and within within a homegrown brand, within the cost, and get the quality right. So everything, I can't tell you, everything's been a challenge. Everything's been whether it's the clamshell bonnet, the clamshell tailgate, the sound bar, the big screens, the short gaps, the piano black cladding. Everything's been a challenge, and we've just, our emotion has just guided us, and we've just fought and kept our emotions intact.
Well, Ajay, we eagerly wait for the pricing now. Thank you so much for speaking to us at Business Today.
Thank
That
you.
was Ajay speaking to Business Today on what really the design language and of course the nostalgia the car brings along, and we are expecting the price to be fantastic, because as Ajay mentions that we have got to do everything and give it to the Indian audiences as in par to the global cars like a Range Rover Velar probably. With camera person Rajesh in Mumbai, this is Chetan Bhotani for Business Today.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.